It's amazing to think that in the past 60 years, there have been 373 regular characters that have walked down those famous cobbles on Coronation Street, if you can believe Corriepedia, that is. And I can, because it's a fantastic site with pages on characters, plots, places, episodes, honestly, anything you could ever want to know about Coronation Street, that's the place to go, and you can check the links below to have a look for yourself. Back in 2010, Corriepedia put out a character survey where fans could rank 200 of the biggest names from Coronation Street from 1 to 5, and in the end, Blanche Hunt was the ultimate victor. Now, for the 60th anniversary of the show, they've done it again, but this time for all 373 regular characters. Over the next few weeks, Gemma and I are going to be having a go at ranking them for ourselves, starting this week with the current crop of characters. So here we go, part 1 of the Corriepedia Ultimate Character Survey. Hi everyone, we are here on Corriepedia to have a go at our ultimate character survey, their ultimate character survey, should I say, getting it wrong already at the beginning. I hope you enjoy this. This is something that they put up, I think it's in the past week or so, at least that's when we first heard about it, wasn't it?
Yes, it's a survey where you can rank, well, it's not ranking, is it? It's giving marks to 373 of Coronation Street's characters, regular characters.
Yes. So we thought it could be fun, maybe, to video it, pop it up on YouTube and have a load of people tell us how wrong we are with all our rankings.
Well, it's fun to, sometimes you don't really know your own opinion until you hear someone say it wrong.
Very true.
So we're going to help you by telling you what we think, so you can say, no, that's completely wrong, or, yeah, okay, I understand, maybe I'm going to give them the same mark.
Well, Gemma and I do not share the same wave stream in our minds or opinions about everything, so I don't know whether we're going to have a little bit of disputes over some characters.
I've got a pair of scissors here.
I have said to Gemma that if we do have a major disagreement, I'm going to let the lady have her score. Also, I did do this myself last week, and she hasn't had a look at it yet.
How gracious
so I
of you
have
to
already
let me
voted.
Score myself in my own voting session.
So we're here on Corriepedia. This is the main welcome page for it that explains all the details on it. We've already talked a little bit about this already, but you can have a look for yourself. The most important thing that we need to find is, down here, the link to the survey. Now, for some characters, we might end up just click, 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 and not saying anything about. I think if we didn't do that for some characters, we'd be here for a very long time, but we might have a couple that we stop and chat about, any that elicit certain emotional responses, good or bad, from us. Yeah. We'll see. So let's have a go at this survey then, shall we? Oh, we've got to fill in. Oh my gosh, we've got to do all this first.
At least it's the same for both of us.
I'm into this bracket, but only just. Thank you very much. When did we start watching Coronation Street? This is yours. So you started it in the 2000s. Do you watch the repeats on ITV? You don't, but I do. But
well, no, it doesn't matter.
This is for you. Do you own DVD box sets? Yes, we do.
Yeah, we do.
We do. We've been talking about those on the podcast recently. I hope there's not too much before we get onto the characters themselves.
They said there was literally just one page of...
Okay, fine. Right.
Oh, right.
So the way that they've set this up is they've got pages on current characters first, and then they go back to characters that are no longer in it but debuted in the 60s, then 70s, 80s, 90s, and so on. Finally, they've put the villains at the very end, so we have an ultimate bad guy off on the last page. So we're going to just rush straight through some of these. I think, like I said, Ken for me is a solid 4. I know he's an all-time classic character. I know he's been in it right from the beginning, but he's not still the sort of character that really gets my juices flowing every time he comes on screen. What do you reckon? 4 for him?
Yeah, 4. I mean, he's not... 4.
He's a great character, but, you know, we've got to save that number 5 for the really, really ones that we love.
I like the way that Chris Gascoigne et al. And Kate Ford et al. Are listed as the actors and actresses.
Yes, not the only Peter Barlows this.
Oh, Peter Barlow.
I would say another 4 for this one. I think he's pretty important. Don't love him, but he is a really solid character.
To me, he's a 3. He's a fairly important character, but I don't really mind him.
Okay, fine. I think I voted 4 for him, just for any Peter Barlow fans out there. Just saying. I would have gone 4.
I'm never that bothered when Peter's involved in anything.
Ah, harsh.
To me, Tracy is a 4.
Yeah, definitely a 4 for Tracy.
Yeah.
Love Tracy. I don't know what it would what it would take for her to go into the 5 category.
Yeah.
She's not an all-time classic, but by golly, I do love her. Adam Barlow. 3?
Yeah, not
3 for him.
He's not got my knickers off.
Not yet. But Ken, maybe? Ken's dropped them. You haven't got anyone to get the knickers actually off for you yet.
Oh dear, Simon. Okay. Gosh. I'd say I would classify him as a current minor character.
He's
and I don't really mind him. So I'll give him a 2.
2. I think that's fair enough for Simon. He's still yet to have his, big story, isn't he? He's going to be big in the future if Coronation Street keep him, whether it's Alex who keeps the role or whether they do a bit of recasting to take him into his adult years. But yeah, for the moment, I think 2 is fair enough for him.
I would give Amy a 3.
Yeah.
She's a fairly important, semi-important character that I quite like. I would classify.
Yeah, again, she's definitely got the potential to rise higher and higher as she gets the more meaty stories. Now she's, getting into adulthood, or is about to get into adulthood at least.
Now, Daniel's difficult. He's either a 3 or a 4, isn't he? He's quite an important character, but currently I don't go much on him. Whereas before, I really admired Rob Mallard's performances and found him very engaging, and it was all to do with the Barlow backstory stuff that I really found he shone in those stories.
I stand by the fact that out of the current cast, Rob Mallard is one of the best actors on that we've got there. It just doesn't necessarily always get given the best stories, although the Sinead storyline was awesome. It was a bit miserable, and he's still a bit miserable now. So
I know, that's the thing. He's basically just for the past 12 months, he's been embroiled in things that I find uninteresting, or I'm not interested in. Yeah. So anything to do with him.
Oh my gosh, my Ymail account settings.
Right, I don't know. Yeah, the cancer stuff and the romance stuff.
He has only been a main character for 2 or 3 years as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to give him a 3.
That's fair enough. Give him a 3. Fantastic actor, but let's give his character something more exciting to do, please.
Ed Bailey. Oh, see. Now
we've got a few more of the Baileys now. I would say...
I want to give them all 3s. I think they're good actors. I think that they could be great characters, but I don't think that they've been given enough to do yet.
Yeah, I mean, these 3s or 2s. I mean, if you want to go 3s for them,
I mean, yeah,
fine.
if you think about the fact that this is to rate every single character that's ever been in Coronation Street, even though I think the Baileys have got amazing potential, I don't think they're anywhere near reaching that.
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, I wouldn't say no to giving them 2 at the moment, to be fair. But
okay,
we'll go for 3 for now.
Oh God, Chutney. Now, he's a fairly important character.
He is. I mean, he's been in it for so long, since he was a little wee kiddie, and we are not judging just these characters by what they are now. It's what they've been, and he was such a fantastic character when he was young. It's just in the past few years they've really gone off the ball with him, yet still propelled him to the forefront of the show in many stories. He's just not particularly... It's not even that he's not likeable. It's just that he's just a bit miserable, isn't he? But he has got a lot going on in his life. To be fair,
he's a party pooper.
Well, what do you reckon? 3 or a 2 for Chesney there?
3.
3 for Chesney. Ranking it. I suppose to put him below the Baileys would be a bit insulting. So fine, let's put him as equal.
Oh Jesus!
This is a difficult one. I mean, if you were to ask us a couple of years ago about Gemma, I'd have been a solid 4. But just the way that she's been used recently, I think that's probably made her slip down to 3.
We're not going to be sitting on the fence all the way through this, are we?
No, definitely not.
Give her a 3.
3 for now. I'm sure there was some people that would rank her a lot lower than that, so she should be grateful for our 3.
Now, Bernie, I quite like Bernie, but I do acknowledge the fact that she is a very minor character, so I can't really give her any more than a 2.
Okay, fair enough. She's not been in it for too long anyway, only since last summer, isn't she? So
Peter Ash,
NTA best newcomer this year.
Oh, gosh, he's not done very much recently.
He's not. He's had his one big storyline with Kel last year, which Peter did do a pretty good job with, I have to say. That there's not a whole lot about the character that's really, really gripping me and compelling at the moment.
No.
Not too sure about his pairing him with Billy as well. But I mean, I might say a 3 for him for the moment.
Oh, I don't want to give everyone 3s, but I guess that makes sense.
You're right. I mean, 3s is straight down the middle. They're okay, I would say.
Now, Billy, I really like Billy. again, though, he's not done a lot recently.
They've not used much, but we're not judging him on that, are we? We're judging him on his time, when he went through his druggy phase, his falling off a cliff phase.
Yeah, and he has got significance now in the backstory of Coronation Street and how they retconned him running Susan Barlow over or whatever he did.
Yeah. Something like that, isn't it? Dan's a really solid actor, and the character, when he's given his nice vicar to do, he's a really nice chap.
Yeah,
I would say I like him. I think some people find him a little bit too in your face, a bit too Mr. Perfect, a bit twee.
Yeah, though he took drugs in a church.
Yeah, we all have our blips.
Everyone who hasn't been drugged up in a church.
Well, that's 3 or 4 for Billy. I'm almost thinking he could deserve a 4, but maybe 3. 4.
If I've given the Baileys and I've given
him more than the
Chesney
Baileys and Chesney. Yeah. All Summer. So this is our youngest
2.
one so far. Really?
Yeah. Only because she's a minor female character that I quite liked.
Okay.
But in the grand scheme of things, in 20 years' time, will anyone know who Summer is?
Yeah, you might be right. She's got real potential if they keep her in. I think Matilda Freeman has impressed me right from the start. But you're right, she's not done a whole lot yet to.
This can't just be about whether I like the actors.
No.
Because a lot of these actors I'm giving low scores to, I really rate quite highly, but you can't. It's about the characters.
It's about the characters, isn't it? Hey, it's the Dev Star.
Dev has got to be a 4 for me.
Oh, yeah, I agree. 4.
Because he's so much fun. He's so versatile. He's been in it for a long time. He's done everything from ridiculous slapstick comedy to really heart-wrenching drama.
Emotional stuff. He's really underrated as well.
Yeah, he is. And
I love Dev. I love him. Now, this is another one that asked us 12 months ago. We would have given you a completely different answer, I think. Has she made her way into the 3 territory, at least, for somebody who would have been, maybe even the 1 a year ago, to be honest?
Yes, yeah. I think 3 is I don't know, is 3? Or is it 2?
She's got 2
she is a fairly
minor but important stories under her belt now in the past 6 months, with the skin lightening and now the sexting. I think
they've put a lot of faith in her, and she's pulled through, and she has proven herself. And I think that she's definitely on an up.
She's a minor character. I really do quite like her. When if you were to say, there's some big Asher scenes coming up in a story this week, we're like, I'm quite looking forward to that, actually.
Yeah.
And to me, that means that she's a 3.
Ardy's got to be a 1 or a 2.
Yeah, really great replacement in Adam Hussein. Again, we didn't think much of him under Zenton, but that was only because they didn't give him a whole lot to do. But I think they're brilliant recast. But again, whereas Tanisha has had some meaty stuff to get her teeth into.
Well, he's just been a sidekick to Tanisha's stories, which is fair enough, because he is still young and he's got a lot of potential. But being Ash's twin, I think, gives him a good ramp, and I have got a lot of confidence in
I really do. The renaissance of the Alahans. You watch this space.
Yeah, exactly.
We're in it.
Yeah, we are.
Ty. Oh, I love him. I love Tyrone. Again, I think underrated. If it was me, and if I'm trying to remember what I voted last week, I would have said solid 4 easily.
Really?
Important character. He's been in it 20 odd years or so or more. Really nice guy. I think Alan's shown that he's a fantastic actor, especially with the domestic abuse story. But this is down to you, Gemma.
I'm going to have to give Tyrone and Fizz a 3, because although I recognise that they are important characters, I just really could take them or leave them.
See, both of those would be 4s for me. I think I've got a soft spot for both those characters.
Oh, Hope and Ruby.
Look, how can you?
Gosh.
She's begging you. She's saying, "Oh, you couldn't give me a 2, could you, Gemma?"
I have to give them a 2. I have to give them 2s because
Ruby as well.
Yeah, they haven't had a lot to do, but I love them. This is
who
always.
do you prefer, Gemma, Ruby or Hope?
I can't pick. Ruby.
Yes, Ruby.
I can't pick. No, I was going to say the balance here is, are they widely considered to be an important character? That's one scale of judgment that we're using. And the other scale of judgment is, do you like them as a character? So say you have a really important character that everybody loves, but you hate. So everyone else would score them a 5 for importance, but you think you hate them, so you'd score them a 1. Then they're going to be a 3, So that's where we've got the scales and we're trying to work it out. So although I love both these characters, they haven't, I mean, arguably, Hope
Hope's had a more major story than
but
Ruby.
I like Ruby more, so they both get a 2.
So sassy. Yeah, fine.
I love her.
Fair dues. Again,
God,
let's
I love
come back to
Ruby.
this for the 70th anniversary, and we'll see what we rate them.
We'll
then.
see how many
Assuming
boyfriends
the
they've had.
the Dobson Stopes are still in it in the future. That is.
Oh, Evelyn! Oh my God, this is going to be tough.
I think I would say 4 for this.
Yeah, because she is a character that is
She's increased in
not
popularity since she
necessarily
arrived.
a sort of an important one in the long term scheme of 60 years of Coronation Street, but she is such a fantastic character to watch. Whenever she's in a scene, you think, oh great, an Evelyn scene.
Yeah, she's done a really good job. Really
fantastic.
She's got big boots to fill with Blanche, which people are saying, oh, new Blanche or whatever, but I think that she's turned herself into not Blanche. She's not the same. She's got a different kind of humour, a different kind of attitude. We've started to see a bit more of a softer side to her now. I want to keep hold of Evelyn as long as we possibly can on this show. On to page 3 of 15, Gemma.
Oh God, how long have we recorded for? Oh Jesus.
Right, let's speed up. Eileen.
3.
Okay, I like Eileen. I would say a 3 or a 4 for that. She's had lots of good stories. She's in a bit of a lull at the moment.
Sean, to me, he's still minor. He's minor at the moment.
He's been minor for a long time.
And
I like him.
I don't necessarily care about him one more or the other, so I give him a 2.
Oh, I would say 3 for Sean, but I think a lot of people would agree with you for a 2, maybe even lower.
Mary, again, not an important character, but one I really like, so it has to be a 3.
I find that sometimes her humour can grate on me a little bit. It can sometimes feel a little bit forced, but equally she has had many great scenes, great lines, great stories to tell. But I think 3, I agree with you there.
So ongoing, most of these characters are going to get 3s, really.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I
don't want it to be too repetitive, but I'm afraid it will be. Jack, again, another one. Kevin, important character. Not really that bothered about him, one way or the other. I'll give him a 3. Okay. I'll give Jack a 2, because he's a child character, has not had loads to do. Donnie, again, I really wish I liked him more than I do. Again, another one, not had loads to do, 2.
Wow, 2 for Johnny.
Sorry.
I can think of somebody who's not going to be very happy with that.
Yeah, Johnny. Now, Jenny. I love Jenny Connor. I think Sally Ann Matthews is an amazing actress. She has been in it in 2 big stints, hasn't she?
Yeah, the first one for a couple of years, 2, 3, 4 years. I can't remember exactly back in the 80s how long she's
sort of
been
came
in
back
it.
and then she went away, and now she's back again, and she's the landlady of the Rovers, so she's a very significant character to me. I think anyone who's the Rovers landlady has got to be given a point. Sorry, Johnny. I'm gonna have to give her a 4 because I think that she's not being used enough.
No, but when she is, she's fab. I just don't think that she's quite reached that.
She's not reached
5-star
iconic
status yet, sadly.
No.
I'm
wish pushing for it.
Oh, we are certainly pushing for that. Next, we've got Ryan Connor. So currently played by Rowan Prescott. We've had Sol Harris and somebody else in the past. Now, this is another one who's in recent recast has, I would say, given it at least an extra point for me.
So he's a fair sort of semi-important character in the scheme of things. I quite like him. I find him interesting. I'll give him a 3. Carla's going to be tough for me.
We are talking the 15 odd years of Carla here, not just what Carla's become in the last
4,
few
then.
years.
If I was rating her now, I'd probably give her a 2. If anyone's a new Coronation Street watcher, I think they will be mystified as to the hype behind Carla Connor at the moment. I think Corrie's not doing her justice, personally. Sally Metcalf, 4.
4, not a 5?
No, 4.
Okay, yeah. Higher than Kevin, that seems fair enough. She's great.
Tim. I think I'll give him a 2 because I don't like him at all, but he's fairly important.
He's funny. He has been great as well when he first came in. Actually, he wasn't that great when he first came in, but when they put him together with Sally, he had some great first few years.
When he was with Sally, he was at a 4, but he has been at a 1, so I'm giving him a 2. Faye, it can't be more than 2.
Yeah, I would agree with that one.
Sophie.
Oh, Sofa.
Oh, tricky.
She can be a right mardy cow, can't she?
Oh, there was a phase I went through where I really genuinely did not like Sophie. Now I would say I don't mind her. but I think I might have to give her a 2.
She's coming out of the Mardy phase, although do you like her more since she's not been on screen last autumn?
Perhaps
Is that what it is? I've not been annoyed by Sophie for a good 6, 7, 8 months. Like, what is it? What could it possibly be?
Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
I think I might have said a 3 for Sophie. Brooke's lovely. I've had the pleasure of chatting with her a couple of times. But yeah, she needs a bit more spark, something meaty to get her teeth into. So hopefully when she's back off mat leave, that might be her chance.
Mat leave? Who are you? Production team?
Yeah, maternity.
Abby Franklin. Love her so much. She is a minor character at best in the 60-year span of Coronation Street, but she's so fabulous, so fun, so charismatic. As soon as we saw her in that initial storyline, we thought this she's got it. This is great. More of her. Even though she was a completely unlikable character, just Sally Carman's charisma shone through that.
I would say a 4 for
4.
Abby. Definitely, she's awesome.
I wish this was out of 10. Really wish this was out of 10, because I would give Jenny a 4.5. You know, Seb. Oh, at the moment, I'm not really loving Seb.
No, not in the past week or so. He's had his moments, hasn't he?
I don't really mind him.
I quite liked him during some of the Pat Phelan stuff.
He was good then, but
in the grand scheme of things, I'm probably thinking about a 2 for him.
Yeah, 2.
I do like him. I don't
dislike
him. I wish I could give him more. Absolutely.
Oh, now this is so hard, because this is another 4.5 one to me. Because
she's not a 5, is she?
She can't be a 5 because she's not been in it long enough. But she is so amazing.
So
Shelley
glad they've
King
given her this
is
story.
so good. She has proven herself.
We've liked her from the beginning.
Yeah,
and
another one we've really enjoyed.
I love her as being the wise advice giver of the street.
She's also given us one of our favourite catchphrases from Coronation Street. Alia, 2.
But she looks shifty in that picture there. She's like, what's she plotting?
She looks
Look
like
at those eyes.
You're going to give her a 2.
She does, doesn't she? Like, yeah, thanks,
Lucky it's not a
guys.
1.
I think she knows that she's not a 5 out of 5 at the moment as well.
She should be a 5 because she's been in it for an incredible amount of time. She's been in it since the 70s. She's had so many great plots. She is the Black Widow of Weatherfield. She's gone through so many husbands.
For all the good that this character has had, I don't think it would be fair to drop her down too much just because she's gone off the boil a bit, not been, I know,
but she hasn't been well used for about 5 years.
She hasn't, but that still leaves a good 40 years or so where she has been. And I would say a 4 for Gail. I think it'd be an insult to give Gail a 3.
It has to be
especially
a 4.
with some of the other 3s that we've been doling out.
But now here we've got David Platt, and I'm going to say 5 for David Platt.
Yeah. A first 5 of the day.
Icon. One of my favourite characters of all time, an excellent actor, fabulous backstory, always seems to be well used, constantly interesting storylines, just amazing. Even the fact that I'm not that keen on Shona can't drag his score down.
So here we go, Shona. Jules, 3, yeah. I'm glad. I thought you might have gone for a 2 for Shona.
No, she's doing a great job. I think the storylines that... Think about all the things that Shona's been through since she's been on the show. I think it's dragging her down to be with David, but I'll give her 3 because she's not been in it very long, but she is still a great character.
Sarah Louise.
4. Sarah Louise doesn't get the 5 out of 5 because, who remembers she's married to Adam? I don't think she does. But
she's been great over the years.
She was
20 years.
She delivered one of the most controversial storylines of all time as a very young girl, and I think she did an amazing job. And iconic, yeah, but not one of my favourite all-time characters.
No. Max
has to get a 1 or a 2.
Yeah.
Have we given anyone a 1 yet?
I don't think we've given everyone a 1 yet. Max was another one that was a lot cuter when he first came in. Do you remember when it was Becky and Steve were looking after him for a bit because Kylie had given him to them, or she'd sold him to them or something like that, and he was a real cutie.
I'm going to give him a 1. He's a minor character in the grand scheme of things, and I'm sort of on the fence. Same with Lily.
Yeah. I agree. She is not close to a favourite of mine, sadly.
Audrey.
It's sad that we love David so much, and it feels like having these kids, although it's a natural thing, It's like I could do without them, really.
I know. Kill off. Let's have a nursery school fire. Let's get rid of.
I don't know what Max would be doing at a nursery school. Work
All right,
experience,
let's have a
the whole of Bessie Street.
let's have
Is he still there?
under 10s picnic on the Red Wreck, which has unfortunately been the target for a grease fire, and we get rid of all the quads in one go.
What about old Audrey then? I didn't mean how old she is, but could have said that to old
There's
Lily.
no need to mention it, I don't think.
4 or 5, Gemma?
Do you remember what you gave her?
I don't remember what I gave her.
See, the thing is about Audrey is that she had big stories in the 90s, and I wasn't there for it.
No.
I think if I'd watched her the whole time, I would have given her a 5. But because I haven't, I have to give her a 4.
Yeah,
to be
that's
fair.
fair enough.
And Rita, at the moment, I think she's a bit of an annoying lecturer busybody. But we've been watching her. She's been in it. She was in it in the 60s.
She was in it briefly in the 60s, wasn't it? But I think 70s has been more a proper
But even
debut.
in the 70s, I think it's great that she's there and she's an interesting character, but I'm not watching it going, oh God, I used to really love Rita. What have they done with her? I think, yeah, she's always just been there.
Yeah,
So
just because
4,
you've been in it for a long time doesn't necessarily guarantee you a 5.
4. Yeah.
I think that's fair enough. Fair enough. Right, next page. Liz, one of your favourite Rovers landladies.
I really love Liz. Again, though, I wasn't there for her early years. I don't know. 4 or a 5.
I think I would say a 4 for Liz. I'm saving my 5s for the ones that, make my heart
Undoubtedly.
flutter.
I guess you know if a 5 is a 5, don't you? And if
Yeah.
you're not sure, then they're a 4.
Yeah. Steve,
Same for Steve.
definitely. I think if he'd been carrying on the trajectory that he was on up until 10 so years ago, he could have pushed into the 5 territory, but they've just made him a bit too dumb in recent years. And it's so funny watching him on the 90s episodes on ITV3. Such a different character. He was so cool back then.
We all were cooler when we were younger.
Very, very true. Yeah. Okay. Emma, recent, and this is somebody who shot straight into the toppers and people's favourite characters list. She got awards. People love Emma. They've been sort of throwing the tragedy at her a bit too much recently, haven't they? And we're starting to forget what it was that made Emma so instantly likeable. It's the 3 or a 4 there for her.
I think she's a 4 for me because she's not, at the moment, a classic character, but I love her. So I'll give her a 4.
Roy?
4 again.
See, I would probably go 5 for Roy. If I'm thinking about the men that are going to make it on the list, not that we should take that into account or anything. I think he's had so much good.
No.
4 for you?
I can't give him a 5 because I don't immediately go 5.
Okay.
Nina. Oh, I love
Really
Nina.
recent.
Brilliant. She's not been in it long enough to get anything higher than a 3.
Yeah, what we've seen of her, we've liked.
Yeah.
But not loved, I would say.
Oh, Nick
3.
now. Nick. I love Nick loads. But don't forget, when he sank in quicksand, lots of people went, haha, good.
I know.
It's
But
only-
he's also when he went through his Adam Rickett phase, I wouldn't say that he was a lot of
No.
people's favourites.
Hey, if I was judging Nick on a 5-year window, he would probably get a 4 or a 5. But on the whole,
I mean, he's been in it since birth, hasn't he? When was he born? 1980 or so. So he's been in the show 40 odd years.
Yeah.
And we can't count the first bits, but he went through his annoying Warren Jackson phase, which
Ben
I'm
Price
currently
is my
watching.
favourite Nick.
Oh, absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt.
And current Nick is my favourite Nick.
Yeah.
So I think I'll give him a 4.
Okay, fair enough. He's a very important character.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got
Oh, Leanne. Oh, no, Leanne.
Look at Gemma, she's giving you evils. She's going,
She's giving me
better
evils.
not give me...
Now, you guys, if you've listened to the show for a long time, I don't know why you would, but
It's quite good. Oh, look who's next.
I've gone through phases of absolutely hating Leanne, thinking she is so self-righteous and irritating. It's only when she's taken a back burner that she has become a more tolerable character to me. And I know that Jane Danson is a fabulous actress and I really rate her really highly. Whatever they give her, she is amazing with. But Leanne on the whole, I found unfathomably irritating. And I know I'm in the minority, but I've got to score it for myself. So I'll give her a 3.
3, fair enough. That's fair. What about our Toya? So she's been back in it for the last 3 years or so, and you probably caught the tail end of her first stint. So there's been an awful lot of Corrie that you've watched.
She's
that we haven't
had
Toya.
a massive journey, hasn't she? Because she came in as a ne'er-do-well who turned the street upside down to such an extent that some viewers who are used to be in the show decided they would never watch it again because of how awful it was. And she's had some really interesting, timely storylines to do with, eco warriors and all that stuff. She had a rape storyline when she was younger, which was poignant. She came back and she was the landlady of the Rovers for a stint. And
that didn't go down too well.
She had a really amazing storyline with Eva when they had the baby snatching storyline, and it was utterly implausible, made no sense, was not something that anyone of any intelligence would ever think would work. But both of those actresses played such a fantastic role for those, and in particular Georgia Taylor. Her expressions and the way she played that sold that stupid storyline to me so well that's one of my favourite storylines.
Now, we've had the last couple of years that she's been very underused.
She has been underused.
I mean, I think I'm thinking of a 3 for Toya.
I'm going to give her a 4 because I
Really?
really like Toya.
Wow.
I really like Toya.
I think I would have gone for a 3.
No, I like Toya. Imran.
The pictures that they've chosen are amazing here.
Imran, again, another actor that I really rate highly. I think he's good. You guys know we are a bit biased because we both really like Charlie and Georgia. Imran has not been in it for very long. He has had some good storylines, but he has been on the periphery of them.
Yeah, he's been reacting to things, especially like in the Rana story.
The Rana stuff was really good. I enjoyed that. There's potential. There's so much potential. We know that they're giving Toya and Imran a story at the moment that could see them making or breaking these characters
as a couple. 3.
It has to be a 3.
Yeah.
But I really like Imran. Paula. See, if you'd asked me before she slept with Tracy, I would have said 3. But because I think they don't really know who Paula is and they don't have faith in the character, I have to give her a 2.
Yeah.
I really liked Paula before she slept with Tracy, but we never got an explanation.
She's been so minor anyway, hasn't she?
She's such a minor character. I don't mind her either way, but I liked her more before. We didn't know why she did what she did. I think I would have preferred to see more from her as to why she thinks it's okay to cheat with a woman that she thought was straight.
And now Sterling's gone off she's got a gig on the BBC, hasn't she? So we're going to be seeing less and less of her.
Now, Gary, I love Gary, current Gary. I remember there was a time when I would definitely give him a 3 because he was a bit of an insipid character, and he was described to us as somebody who is an easygoing character who can talk to anybody and engage with anybody in a scene.
So are you saying 4 now for Gary?
I'm saying a 4.
I wouldn't give him a 4.
Well, it's not your score.
This is down to you.
I love
maybe 2.
Gary's current roller coaster ride into hell.
I'm still not on board. I'm not completely convinced about his Machiavellian nature. I don't know what it is, but this is your scoring, Gemma. Just getting my views out there
Maria,
as well.
I've never thought Maria was good.
She's just there, isn't she? She has the odd story every now and then.
More than anyone else, I think she's a long-term character who is at the whim of the story writers as to what they want to happen. If they need someone to jump into bed with somebody, she's there. If they need her to, I don't know, what else has she done? Honestly, I give her a 2.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Sammy is a beautiful, beautiful woman. She's a great actress, but the character of Maria has never really felt like anything.
Long phases of nothing.
Kirk's 2.
Yeah.
Minor character, I'm not bothered about him. I find his
be funny, but isn't always.
Incredibly hit and miss. I think he's 50-50. Beth. Oh no.
3? I would say 3 for
2.
Beth.
I was thinking 1.
We have really loved Beth in the past. She's
2.
Fine. She's decreased in our affections in the last few years because they've given her that permanent chewing a wasp.
They've done a character assassination on Beth, since we found out that she was a bigamist.
Yeah, I agree.
When she married Kirk and they had that 80s themed wedding, she was on an upward trajectory, which felt like she was going to be a massive part of Coronation Street and an iconic comedy character that people would remember for years.
Yeah.
And then, since then, they've gone, we need somebody to be a bitch to so-and-so. We need somebody to be a bitch to so-and-so. Let's just have Beth do it. I don't know why she's dating Kirk. Her most recent interesting storyline was her being jealous of his music career.
She was involved in Sinead's cancer story, which you didn't watch, and
No,
there were a
yeah, that's
few
a fair point.
episodes,
That's a fair point.
there where she went back to being lovely, caring.
I do remember people saying that she had
was
done a great job of that.
But
I
then
apologise because I
as
didn't
soon
see
as
it.
Sinead died, she went off being
If I
horrible
had
again
seen
and swiping at
Sinead's
Daniel.
storyline, I might have given her a 3,
was so
but I am
good
afraid
then.
I did not. Craig, 3. He is a minor character, but I really, really like him. And Colson Smith is
nice
so
guy,
much fun. And
nice
he's
guy.
got so much potential. Same with Kathy.
Yeah. Brian I used to really, really like, and now I don't mind him. He can be a bit too much
He's
of
a minor
buffoon.
character. In 20 years, who's going to remember Brian was in it? I'll give him a 2. I really like him. I don't like
He
him
was
as much
better
as
when
Kathy.
he was with Julie.
I know. What's wrong with them? Because
Not sure, and I
because
don't
Brian
like-
and Kathy on paper look great.
Yeah, I just can't put my finger on it. I'm not convinced about him there being in the cabin as well. That's a big shoes to fill, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
Alex, 2, but it's 1.5.
yeah, not
He's
fussed about
minor.
Alex.
I don't
Do you
know. Should
think?
I give him a 1? He's such a minor character. He's had so few plots. I'll give him a 2. I'll
Yeah.
give him a 2. Izzy.
Oh, she knows. Look at that face.
She's another
She
one
knows.
who's 1.5 to
Yeah.
me. But do I give her a 1 or a 2? She's a minor character. I'm indifferent to her.
She has
think she's
flashes
okay.
of brilliance. I remember when she stood up to Derek last year, 'cause she was going out with him for a bit, and she
Yeah.
had a great moment then. But
I
there's been an
really-
awful lot
I
that I've
tell
not
you what,
enjoyed about Izzy.
If that drug
The nag.
storyline with her had led to her triumphing in any way, shape or form, I would have respected her character more. I felt really bad about the fact that she had that drug storyline and she said marijuana is the only thing that keeps me out. I'm in constant pain. I'm not doing it to get high or have fun. I'm not sitting listening to music and eating onion rings. I am using it for medicine. I need it. And then she got in trouble, and then she cried in court, and then she never mentioned it again.
And she went off to prison for a bit, and
Yeah,
then
she went
was
to
cured.
court. She went to prison, and now she's come back and she feels okay again, I suppose. I don't think that they were. I think they did her dirty, and I have to give her a 2. But she should really get a 1. But I'm giving her a 2 because I think they screwed her over.
They really have.
4.
Norris, 4. Yeah, I agree. Solid.
Oh, see, Claudia now, she's a minor character, but I absolutely love her. I give her a 4.
Yeah,
And I
think
give
so.
the
She's
same to
great.
Moira because Moira's been in it about 3 times. No, she's been in it
Once
once this year.
so far this year, but
every time she's in it,
she
they-
barely
and I tell you
scrapes onto
another
the
thing.
regular list, to be fair, does
another
she?
thing about her is that they can write for her so well and she can deliver it so well. Whereas Kirk is a more regular character and they give him more jokes. And Andy Wyman delivers them perfectly, but often I don't think they know why Kirk is so funny. Whereas I think that, because Moira's a bit of a stereotype, isn't she? She's like a cougar,
Yeah.
a gossipy cougar, and because that's such an iconic stereotype, and she is such a fantastic actress with great comic timing, she can deliver. It's like, I don't know, is it 100%?
Pretty
It's
much.
such a high hit rate with Moira. I think you'd be crazy to not recognise that she is an incredibly comedic character. It's just so sad that she's not in it enough.
Agreed.
But is it because she's not in it so much that they can save their
maybe,
best jokes
maybe.
for when she actually does appear?
And there we go. All of Corrie's current regulars ranked from 1 to 5. What did you think? Agree? Disagree? Were there any way you were tearing your hair out because you couldn't believe how highly or lowly we'd rank them? Whatever, just let us know in the comments down below who are your favourite and least favourite current Corrie characters. And don't forget, head over to Corriepedia to vote in the Ultimate Character Survey yourself. We'll be back next week, taking a look at the characters from Corrie's debut decade, the 1960s. We'll see you then.